Aura is fascinating. The token has been dormant for more than a year, and suddenly in the last few days it's shooting up like crazy. The question is, who is buying here actually? Is this some kind of artificial pump and dump, or is there accumulation by retail? Let's have a look at the on-chain metrics, the data most people are not considering. Now we are currently at 7.5 cents. Aura has been launched via the pump.fun ecosystem, so that's the meme coin launchpad on the Solana chain. Nothing happened for a long time, and suddenly we went from 0.1 cents to now above 7 cents. An increase of more than 8,000%. On the Solana chain, we now count 26,000 holders that hold at least some part of the token. On X, formerly known as Twitter, we've got close to 18,000 followers. The project, by the way, revolves around Aura points on Twitter, so we can send points to other users, and there's a ranking that gets generated from that. On Telegram, we've got 11,400 members. So it appears as if all those numbers somewhat align. There's no huge manipulation, as in there's 100,000 Twitter followers and only 5,000 holders on chain. It seems like everything is somewhat organic. Now with this massive rally, Aura was able to become the 6th largest trending token on the Solana chain in terms of liquidity. So there's now 3.7 million worth of liquidity in the token. Aura has also become the most viewed cryptocurrency on CoinGecko. But are we going to see any future price growth? Because at the beginning we saw this massive pump, then some sideways movement, then a secondary rally, and now we seem to be plateauing again. In the last 24 hours we saw 16,000 wallets that interacted with the token. And while the number of buyers and sellers is almost equal, the price still more than doubled. So the buyers tended to move more capital than the sellers did, despite the rally. This is very uncommon, because one would expect that after a rally, the average seller should have more money now, right? They get all of that return, and so the sellers usually move more money per transaction than the buyers do after a rally, but not so for Aura. And so this gives us a first hint that maybe the whales are participating in this as well. The nice thing about the blockchain is that all the data is transparent. Most of the trading volume happens directly on-chain on Radium and Meteora. And while there are perpetual futures, they don't make up that much trading volume. So it's not the perps that move the price, it is the trading directly spot on Radium. Now in the last month, most days we saw very few new traders entering the token. Only 10, 20 first-time traders per day, that's about it. And then suddenly, yesterday, we saw more than 5,000 new wallets suddenly buying the token, and it accelerated further to almost 13,000 traders on the 11th of June. We can ignore the latest data point because today has just started. The trading volume has massively peaked, so of course it comes in waves. This is usual for meme coins, but then the token almost died down. There was very little activity, and again in the last few days we saw more than 20 million worth of trading volume. Now this data is split up in different wallet cohorts, so we see the whales and large retail, small retail, etc. We can also normalize this trading volume to 100% every day. And that's then what we see in this chart. So again, this is the trading volume. Small retail is all the wallets that have less than $1,000 worth of the token. Medium-sized retail is up to 10,000. Large retail is up to 100,000, and the whales is above 100,000. So it seems like small retail is still doing a lot of the trading. But trading doesn't necessarily mean accumulation, right? Small retail investors tend to just buy and then sell very quickly once they made a bit of profit. Really, this recent rally is mainly driven by the whale investor. Yes, the small retail investor is getting in as well, but the whales proportionally increase faster. So to be counted for the chart on the left, a wallet has to hold at least 10,000 Aura tokens. So at the current price, that's $787. To be counted for the chart in the middle, it's a 10x from that, so that's roughly $8,000. For the chart on the right, it's another 10x, so that's $80,000. Yes, all wallet cohorts tended to buy with this rally, but just proportionally, right? The number of small retail investors mainly grew by 10% or so, a bit more than that. The number of whales grew by a third. they are now at an all-time high. And so have a look at what happened with the token ownership. The whales now own much more of the supply. Large retail also increased their share. Small retail has pretty much exited entirely. The wallets that had less than $1,000 worth of the token had 33% of the supply in the past. Now that's only 2%. So really, the whales are taking over, the market makers buy up aura. And so what does this mean for the future price development? My impression is that the market makers and the whales are currently accumulating the token at a high speed in order to attract a lot of attention to then later on offer perpetual futures and offer bets on the price. When the whales have a lot of the supply, they can move the price in any direction. And if there's a lot of attention on the token, people want to bet on the price with leverage via the perps. So if then enough people bet on the price via the perps when it's launched on Binance, etc., then the market makers can move the price in the exact opposite direction on the spot market and liquidate. So I believe there will likely be some listings in the future. We will see how the Q coins and the Binances and the HTXs of this world will list the token, not just on spot, but also on the perpetual futures. And that will then lead to another rally. And from that point onwards, we're going to see a lot of volatility. Very similar to what we have seen with Fartcoin or with SPX 6900, for example. Now, some people might make the argument that all of this analysis doesn't help at all because markets are efficient. But I tend to disagree because it's people that make markets efficient. There are clearly winners and losers in the game, and the winners tend to continue to win. So it's not just a game of luck, it's a game of luck and skill. And the nice thing about crypto is that we've got much more data in this market compared to other markets because every transaction is publicly recorded on the blockchain. But very few people actually use that data properly. And that's in the end where winners and losers are born. People that don't look into the details enough, they tend to lose over time. That's the vast majority. Now, the charts that you've seen in this video come from a tool that I've developed myself on top of the Dune Analytics platform. It's part of the premium membership of this channel. There are two dashboards. There's a dashboard for Ethereum related blockchains. So those are the ones we can analyze. We can plug in any token into this tool and then we can see how many large holders are there, how many small holders are there, how many new users enter a token, and how many buyers and sellers do we have over time. It's also always useful to look at the token ownership, right? Is a token mainly held just by the whales, by the people that have more than $100,000 worth of the token? If that's true, it's potentially, especially if that happened forever, a quite dangerous token. And so this is how I think about this fundamentally. The target with trading and with investing is to be better informed than the average, to be the person that makes the market efficient. If we are better skilled than the average person, then we should over time also make positive expected value bets. So that means that not every single trade will be positive, but on average, we should make money. Again, because we can estimate the probabilities better. We can see the dangers and the potential upsides better. Now, I have made more than 100 tutorial videos on various topics within crypto. How to do on-chain analytics, how to build a Dune dashboard like we've just seen. But of course, you also get access to the dashboard itself. Also about risk management, about how to properly use leverage, if that's your thing. All kinds of videos. Feel free to check them out. The newest video is this one, how to use perpetual futures and how to use the Hyperliquid platform to beat others. The videos are posted on the website, but they're also posted directly in Telegram. And here's the feedback to that tutorial. Feel free to stop the video and read through this yourself. But of course, we also need to start somewhere. And so I'm personally, of course, sharing my own trades as well as I open them. Of course, I can't share the newest trades here on YouTube, but have a look at this. This is on March 3rd. I'm adding another short, Cardano, relative to the US dollar. And the explainer was in a premium update video. So I publish premium update videos every 3 to 4 days. I then added more exposure on the 11th of March and I then closed it on the 7th of April. So of course, not every trade works out that well, but Cardano went down relative to Bitcoin by 36% during that time. And so with this membership, I want to do both. Of course, I want to make it profitable very quickly. That's why I share my trades, but I also want that the vast majority, at least, of the members takes the time to learn as much as possible. That in the end, you might not even need the membership anymore. You can make your own profitable trades. Now have a look at this. This is where our members share their winning trades. If you use the right leverage, if you know how to do proper risk management as well, you can make hundreds of % in a single trade. It's all about being prepared and knowing the data better than most other market participants. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. The price has been reduced because currently the attention on crypto is still relatively low. Once Bitcoin hits new all-time highs again, then I might go back to the 165. But the 125 is locked in for everybody that signs up now. So when the price increases, when you're still subscribed, your price will not increase. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in Premium. There's also a link to Premium directly here on the right. Just click on that. It will lead you directly to the website. So see you next time. Cheers.